In this video, I'll be continuing a discussion of some Legacy-era Star Wars CCG decks, kind of mixed Legacy era with the modern post-reset era. If you want more information about that sort of hybrid format, please do read the description. Here I have Rebel Cell and Tractor Beams decks. So these two, some of the recent deck reviews I've done, they've kind of fit together, been the same planet, but these ones didn't really have any matches on the other side, so I figured they'd be good to talk about together. I'll start with the light side Rebel Cell deck. This was sort of like Hidden Base. In fact, it uses the Hidden Base picture, at least in terms of concept, but the usual Hidden Base objective is about getting a lot of planet systems out, and this one is more about the idea that you're trying to operate a Rebel base on a planet that may be, that at least conceptually is hidden away. So kind of a complicated objective, but you're trying to control whatever planet you choose to be your hidden base. And it makes your characters' ability less than 4, your artillery weapons immune attrition less than 4, or adds their immunity. So just trying to get good Rebel ships and characters. And artillery weapons even, because artillery weapons have been pretty useless for most of Star Wars CCG that I know of. The planet I chose was Aquarius because of the Force Generation text. If I have a starfighter there, my Force Generation is +3. And then a lot of text on these Legacy era sites, so all sorts of stuff about where it can deploy. But Incom Corporation, that's a useful effect for Rebel starfighters, can deploy there. And this one gives you some bonuses in terms of protecting your hidden base site, or your Rebel Cell hidden base site. And I actually started with pod racing in this one. So a weird combination of stuff here. Did pod racing with a couple of icons, the usual pod racing cards. Then I chose Seeking an Audience in order to get C-3PO to start cycling cards. This was kind of a wonky deck. That's why there's real no fit for it in terms of the dark side decks I made. This makes my non-unique starfighters a little better. And then some Rebel Cell sites that add some bonuses to my cards, especially artillery weapons. I tried to get artillery weapons into a deck. So they're powered, fire for free, and are forfeit +2, plus I placed them in use POW when forfeited, so being able to have those bonuses for artillery weapons are pretty nice. And Riken that I've used in other decks, being able to deploy Hoth artillery weapons or Hoth rebels. And this guy's pretty good with artillery weapons. And of course I got the artillery weapons themselves, so anti-personnel. This one I think is also anti-personnel, can fire against 2 characters though, so you can hit 2 scrubs at once. And then this one's anti-vehicle. Artillery remote. I'm not exactly sure how this card works, honestly, but basically I think it allows you to... I just don't get what it means by being allowed to fire without a warrior present. Does that mean that a warrior has to fire them from elsewhere? Because that seems how a remote will work. Or I can just fire without anybody being on them. I did it if I win the pod race. Rebel fleet for my starfighters and entrenchment. So being able to cancel force drains with non-unique guys. He's pretty nice for getting scouts. Then I got a few scouts with some useful text. Or most of they're just scouts in general that aren't bad. And him making it harder for opponent to deploy. A couple more scout-oriented guys. Being able to move scouts for free. So all sorts of good stuff for scouts at exterior sites. I got a lot of non-unique ones. Getting some non-unique starfighters. Being able to pull a couple generals or a war room. This one's nice if I hit anything with my artillery weapon. And I believe this one is a blaster, so I got 2 of those, so I can add 3 to the weapon destiny if I want. Being able to add battle destinies if I fire vehicle weapons, or I should say artillery weapons. Just having an artillery weapon, canceling all opponents' immunity to attrition, that can be real nice. And then a few X-Wings in space. So they're pretty good with Incom Corporation, although with shields these days, non-unique starfighters aren't so good. So basically the main premise was just getting those artillery weapons out, making them get extra forfeit and forfeiting them used. It wasn't necessarily a super effective deck. Maybe only played it once or twice, but yeah, just being able to cover my sights with artillery weapons seemed like a lot of fun. And the dark side deck I'm doing in this video, tractor beams. So this one is actually not too far away from being a deck I could use in the modern game in the post-reset era, but Bespin and the Prison, and then yeah, that's a fairly new effect, so I must have been updating this one fairly recently. So this is kind of like reveal a Star Destroyer and get a pilot for it and deploy them both simultaneously, kind of like combat response or squadron assignments. And of course you got tractor beams in a tractor beam deck. Being able to capture opponent starships, especially in battle, is real nice. He allows me to use a tractor beam during my control phase. The tractor beam allows you to do it after a battle, and then in range allows you to do it during a battle. So it would be pretty tough to pull off, but having this guy capture three in a turn with the tractor beam destiny draw, having one added to it there and 3 there, that is not so bad at all. I don't know if I pulled that off in the 2 or 3 times I played this deck, but I hope so. And some Star Destroyers, plenty of Star Destroyers in this deck. These are real nice for canceling Power Pivot. That's an annoying card if you're playing Star Destroyers. You have maybe a Power 11 Star Destroyer because it's got a pilot on it, and then the opponent can make it Power 0 just by having a weapon there. A few Admirals, and a few more Officers. So not a ground deck at all. Kind of the idea here is dominate space, make sure they can't get around anywhere in space, and tractor beam a bunch of guys if you can. This lets you deploy the Executor for free, getting some Admirals out, deploying tractor beams. And this one's pretty nice, making it so people can't move. I might want to, if I was remaking this, I might put another copy in here, just being able to, you move your Star Destroyer to somebody's system and make it so they can't move, and then tractor beam them later, or just beat them down in a battle. Because I do put out a few systems in this deck. It's, I guess 4 of them, yeah. So there's lots of places for the light side to run to if they wanted. But depending on how the game goes, I mean, if you can, be fighting a couple X-Wings and suck one up with a tractor beam and then fight the other one alone, that can cause some battle damage. But just the idea of chasing the opponent around space, hopefully you can kick them out of space for the most part, and then they have to pay for drains too if they have that battle order card out that makes them pay for drains if they don't have space, or both space and land. But yep, that's the name of the deck right there, and it's worked a few times, so hoping to play it again maybe in the near future. Anyways, that's another deck review video, tractor beams and hidden base, or at least the more legacy version of hidden base. Hope you tune in for other deck videos and sealed product videos as well, which you can find on my profile page. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.